Hello, everybody. This is the first of many lessons related to IELTS speaking. I will also make IELTS writing videos, but this one's going to focus on one particular topic, and we're going to go into detail of how you can get a band 7 or higher on your next speaking test. Now, a little bit about me. My name is Adam Can, and I was an IELTS examiner for 10 years in speaking and writing. I am the best expert when it comes to YouTubing on the internet. I'm not the prettiest, I'm not the oldest, I don't have the most views, but I know the most. I can say that very confidently because I started making these videos because I saw other videos on the internet and the information they give is not fully accurate. I've worked in the IELTS industry for 13 years. I know what's good, I know what's not, and in my videos, I will help you a lot. As you can see, I have the card to prove that I was an IELTS examiner. So if someone claims to be an IELTS examiner, ask them to see the card. And as you can see in this picture, I'm a lot younger. That's my face in 2008. So I've got a lot older, uglier, but I've got a lot smarter, especially when it comes to IELTS. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a comment, and please subscribe because I will be uploading lots of videos. Over the next year or two, there will be hundreds, maybe even thousands of videos. So if you subscribe, you will know when a video is available. In the links below, you'll see one link for if you want to do your own speaking test. This is where I will check your speaking and point out where you're having difficulties, what score you would get, and how to get the next band higher. It's very useful. Many students have found it helpful to raise their score half a band or one full band. Also in the information section, you can see other videos I've made related to IELTS. This is all 4 areas, and you can see all of the current speaking test questions. All of them are there, and you can practice. You can record yourself practicing, you'll catch your own mistakes, and it's very useful, especially to know what to expect on your next speaking test. Now let me tell you what you can expect in this video. First, I'll go through the grammar. I'll look at the question in part 2, and we'll talk about different grammar forms that are specific to this type of topic. I'll give you some examples, some personal examples from me, and then you should be making personal examples for yourself because you have different ideas than me, you have a different life, so you got to make it personal. After that, I will go into expressions and idioms that will make sure you get a band 7 or higher. And it's not just about using this idiomatic language on the test. You have to say it fluently. So again, for this section, you want to be making personal sentences about you, and you want to be practicing saying them over and over so that they come out naturally if you get this question on your speaking test. After this lesson is finished, please do the mock test. I will act like an examiner like I was for 10 years. I will ask the questions and you'll have a chance to answer them. Again, it's really useful to record yourself. You can use the expressions and grammar that I talked about in this video and then record yourself and see if you're using them well and how fluently you are talking. How many times do you say or hesitate? Did you make any little mistakes with vocabulary or grammar? And you can better catch yourself at the end. And I'll put the timing in the information section so you know exactly when the mock test begins. So if you want to come back to this video later and see where the test begins and just do the test, that's perfect. It'll be there in the information section. Okay, let's jump into the lesson. Now first, this is the question that we're going to cover for today. So describe a time you had a challenge that you thought would be very difficult. And the bullet points are what the challenge was, where and when you did the difficult thing, and why you thought it was difficult. Now I want you to take as much time as you want. You don't have to, but pause the video now and think about which grammar forms would you use for this type of question. Think about time, and that'll help you a lot. So which grammar forms will help you get a band 7 or higher if you use them accurately? So take a minute, have a think now. Okay, welcome back. Well, I hope you were using past grammar forms. Again, this is something that said thought would be difficult. So it's something in the past, and then that past is thinking about the future. So let's look into some grammar forms that would be great for answering this question. Now, this grammar is finished in the past. So here's an example. Past perfect. Again, this would be great for Band 7 score or higher if you use it well. My example is, I hadn't thought about making online videos until a colleague suggested I might be good at it. Then we have past continuous. I had been working as an IELTS examiner for 10 years when I decided I'd rather focus on just teaching IELTS. And then we have the past continuous. I was taking time away from teaching because of COVID-19, which gave me more free time to make these videos. And simple past, this is obviously the simplest form to use in the past. So this is where your band would be around a 6 for grammar if you use them accurately. So I had an idea to make videos early in 2020. Okay, so that's just simple past. Now, still staying with the theme of the past, but also connecting it to now. So it's something that maybe started in the past or thought in the past, but it's still true now. We can use these grammar forms. So present perfect continuous, right? I've been making videos since early 2020. So again, it started in the past, it's still true now. Present perfect, I have made videos since early 2020. Okay? Now let's jump into some expressions that we can use for this topic. Now the key word in the prompt was challenge. So what's a synonym for challenge? Well, you could say task. Here's my example. I had the task of losing 10 kilograms in 2 months. I was tasked with writing a report about X within 3 weeks. So these are my 2 examples. Why don't you try to make your own example? Now for the big points, to get 7, 8, or higher, here is what you need to use, idiomatic language. So here's some expressions related to challenges or difficulty, stress, things related to challenges. So let's get started. The first one is the expression at my wit's end. This is when you feel like you can't try anymore and you want to give up. So here's my example. I couldn't figure out how to edit my videos well after a week of trying, and I felt at my wit's end. So take a minute, make a sentence that's true about you. Now, catch 22. This is when the rules or the situation make it impossible to succeed. Here's my example. People don't trust YouTube videos with a few views, but how can I get views and trust if people can't find my videos? So it's this feeling of like, I can't succeed because people don't know my videos exist. So it feels like it's hard to win a situation where the rules or the situation created by YouTube make it really difficult to succeed. To dodge a bullet, to barely escape from a bad situation. Okay, so here's my example. I thought I was going to get fired with downsizing during COVID. I really dodged a bullet. So again, you can see this expression. I thought something bad was going to happen, but it didn't, so I dodged a bullet. Make an example that's true for you. The next one is the crux of the matter. This is the most important issue of a problem. The crux of the problem is that I'm not very handsome to be a YouTuber, so I'd better edit well and give lots of useful information. Okay, now make an example about you. The next one is to grasp at straws. When you are desperate and you will try anything to succeed. Here's my example. I was asking strangers on the street for advice as I was really grasping at straws. Okay, now try to make an example for you. The next one is in dire straits. Just means in a very bad situation, kind of no hope. I had no money, no house, and no job when I graduated from university. I was in absolute dire straits. Now, I hope you've never been in dire straits, but maybe think of an example that you were. Think of an example about, maybe a character in a movie, but try to make an example that you can remember to use this expression. As a last resort is very similar to grasping at straws, but this is your final, absolute final attempt to succeed in some desperate measure. Here's my example. As a last resort to get viewers, I went on Facebook to share my videos in IELTS study groups. Now try and make an example that's true for you. Now, after the part two, there'll be part three, and these will be example questions related to part two. Now, these questions are very real. I won't explain my sources, but let's jump into it. The first section will be about challenges for children, and the question is, what are some tasks that young kids find difficult? And here are some things you can talk about, because in the exam, you might just not have any ideas, but here are some ideas you can use. Maybe using good manners, like asking politely or saying thank you. Kids find that difficult. Using utensils. In Asia, this could be chopsticks or even just a fork and knife or holding them properly. So this example of using utensils. Sharing, I think that's pretty obvious. Kids don't like to share sometimes and they want to keep things for themselves. And being clean. There's many kids that taking a bath, especially boys, so it's hard to get them to have a shower or a bath at the end of the day. The next question that will come up is, how do children benefit when they are challenged? And here's some points I've added for you to use. Exposure to well-managed risks helps children learn important life skills, including how to manage risks for themselves. So again, they need to be challenged to learn how to overcome challenges, okay? Basically, as an adult, and this is just my opinion, you can be different, but as an adult, our ability to succeed is overcoming challenges. And if we don't learn how to overcome challenges when we're younger, how can we succeed as an adult? So basically, I heard a quote once, and do you want your child to be safe and stupid or strong and independent? And to be strong and independent, you have to give them a chance to overcome challenges. You can't protect them from everything. Do you think parents nowadays don't challenge their children enough? Here's my yes answer. Children are too protected and controlled by parents. This means that parents are always helping them or making sure that nothing goes wrong or always looking over their shoulder to make sure they don't make a mistake or help them. It's too much. Now, the no side of this answer, so you could say no, children have more challenges than ever before. They have so much pressure to get high grades, and this gives them a lot of stress. So this idea, like they go to school, parents are always pushing them. Some people feel like that's the biggest challenge the kids have to overcome. Now you can agree and disagree. Kids have too many school challenges and no social challenges. Most kids are never allowed to play unsupervised anymore, and they can't develop social skills. It's amazing. When I was younger, I had lots of chances to go and play with my friends outside alone, no parents there to help. So we had to manage the situation together. There might be a fight, there might be a disagreement, but there was no parent to run to. And I feel like that's a really important skill for people to learn. Because if they don't learn that skill, they're always going to be looking for other people to fix their problems. And that's not how you develop a proper adult. Now, the next part you'll jump into is challenges in sports. Now, when people learn a new sport, what kind of challenges do they have? The first challenge they have will be perseverance. This means they have the challenge of not giving up. They have to persevere, they have to keep trying, they can't give up, otherwise they'll never succeed even though it's difficult. They have to have patience. Again, this is like perseverance. It's the idea that I'm going to keep trying and later in the future this will help me. So they have to have patience and not give up. Teamwork can be difficult for some people. You might have a different idea than your teammate, and you have to negotiate or compromise to make sure you succeed as a team and also help each other. And humility might be also very difficult. When anyone starts anything new, they're not very good at it. And that doesn't feel good. And you have to accept that, hey, I'm not that good at it. I accept that I'm not that good at it. I can lose with grace. And that way, that losing with grace is a challenge I have to overcome. The next question that will come up is, how are the challenges different between individual and team sports? Well, for individual sport, the challenge would be the person has to have full onus of responsibility. This means they have to take full responsibility for the outcome. There's no blaming teammates. There's no, oh, I could have done better if it weren't for him or her. They have to be completely responsible. In a team, you need to perform well as an individual, but you also have to facilitate others. This means giving them a chance to succeed. This means passing them the ball. This means supporting or cheering for them. You need to be patient and a good team player. If you're too selfish, then your teammates don't want to play with you. So you're really learning kind of social skills, and it's a challenge for some people. They prefer to play alone. So this is why, team sports do provide a different challenge for people. And the last question is, why do you think some people have a desire to do extreme sports like skydiving? Well, scientists have proven that adrenaline is a drug. It gives people a real boost of energy, and it can be very addictive to feel that exciting feeling. That's the reason people do drugs, is to get that boost of energy. But if you can do something that's natural or something that's just testing your limits and get that feeling, many people love it. People also love to test their limits. We talked about it earlier with challenging yourself as a child. Well, maybe you want to keep challenging yourself as an adult. You want to do something dangerous. You've totally focused on something. And that kind of leads into my next point. It's a form of meditation. When you're doing something difficult or dangerous, you are 100% focused on that task. In today's life, we are distracted by so many things, our phones, TVs, coworkers, and it's hard to focus on one thing. And science has proven that when we can focus on one thing, time slows down and it's very enjoyable and good for our mind. So doing these kind of extreme sports must give those people a sense of relaxation, even though it's quite dangerous. Okay, I put on my tie because now it's time for the mock test. So let's get ready. Okay, now I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say, and you can make some notes if you wish. Do you understand? Okay, well, here's some paper and a pen for making notes, and here's your topic. I'd like you to describe a time you had a challenge that you thought would be very difficult. Okay, remember you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please? Okay, you've been talking about a challenge that you thought would be difficult to overcome, and I'd like to ask you a few more questions related to this. Let's consider, first of all, challenges for children. What are some tasks that young children can find difficult to do? How do children benefit when they are challenged? Do you think parents nowadays don't challenge their children enough? Okay, let's move on to talk about challenges in sport. When people learn a new sport, what kind of challenges do they have? How are the challenges different between individual and team sports? Why do you think some people have a desire to do extreme sports like skydiving? Thank you very much. That's the end of the speaking test. Have a great day. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed my first lesson, first of many. Please subscribe or give it a thumbs up, and there will be many more videos in the future. Also, you can have a look at the links below if you need your own speaking test assessment or links to lots of useful videos, and good luck on your next IELTS test.